we just pass up the parameters and we print it on the browser screen. But here in this slide, what we did, we just pass up the parameters, the value directly inside the parameters inside the classes.
Done.
And then we are yes.
First page is visible now. Only part 5. Oops.
So none of the pages working over there.
Yes, I think so. Yes, this time it's working. Like if you continue, like first click on the first, click on the second. Yes, this time
it is showing or not?
Yes, it is showing. After explaining it, just click on the third and then click, then fourth, then click. Okay, you can continue now.
Okay. So I was telling you about that basically what I was telling you about that if you're providing the value like Vedant and Shukla, then it might give a problem. So it doesn't give a problem and it is printing directly on the screen. So let's move up to the next part. The next part says about that. For example, if in this, yes.
Can you please zoom in so that can
Zoom,
so that I can yeah, you can zoom it your slides. Okay, bus this much is insufficient.
Okay. So I was telling you about that if you want to add a property to an object. So here this slide tells you about it. If you want to add up a property to the object, adding a property to the object is something like it's a new concept. For example, I have created some 2 or 3 objects, but although here I created a single object, but in a single object itself, if I want to add up a new value, okay, in a single object, if I want to add up a new value, but although inside the classes, see, if you can see inside the classes, I haven't passed any parameters, or I passed up the parameters, but I was not printing that parameter. I was not printing those parameters. But here inside the object, again I created one object, and because I had to initialize the value, because here I haven't initialized the value, so then also I have to initialize the value. See, creating an object is permanent. You cannot deny this fact that without creating any object, you can print any user requirement on your output screen or in your browser. So here I created a sort of an object, and then in creating an object, I was what I did. I simply you can say with the help of classes, I simply passed up the parameters. But for example, then also I wanted to I do not want to modify the code, because when you work in industries or at industry level platforms, the codes are very large. There are very large codes, or the applications or the projects that I have given to you are very sort of complex projects. So on those complex projects, you cannot even do it like that. For example, if you are making any error or mistakes, so when you want to resolve, for example, I haven't passed up the parameters, and then I wanted to add up to there inside the classes, then again I have to likewise find it out and write the values or parameters like that. But for example, if I want to just what I will do, if I want to add up a new value or new parameters or new value even, then I simply pass the new value to the inside the object and pass the value parameter, pass the desired value, and in the output screen you can see over there something has been printed over there. So I just simply took the object as developer, then and I passed the value as contact, and there I passed up one phone number that is can be visible to you, and you can see a pointer I created inside the object. I passed up one parameter, and there I pass a value of a phone number of some digits. So that, and simply in DOM part, I simply just perform the operation, and you can see over there that is the please text on my phone number, that is this 8810799610. So this is something that is very easier method and a very user friendly, a developer friendly method with the help of a that is helping the developer or the user to understand, to help out various things or to make the work easier. Okay. So moving up towards the next slide. So let's talk about this last slide. See, actually, this last slide is telling you about the basic prototype. So prototype, see, in the previous slide also we were doing the same thing. In this slide also we will be doing the same thing. For example, we have to again, if we want to modify the code, but we didn't, but we do not want to modify the code at here at function part or okay. If you can see over here, if we want to add another part of the code. So if you want to do not modify over here domain, again I want to modify it inside the object, I can do it. But if the similar thing I want to perform with the help of a classes, as you can see over there, if I want to help create all those things in with the help of a classes, so is it possible? Okay, directly it is not possible. If I should say, if you ask me this question, I will say directly it is not possible. For example, if you are writing like domain.contact and then you're providing with the help of classes, for example, for classes, it is not possible. It will be showing up you with some undefined value, although I haven't showed up over here, but it shows like that. It provides some undefined value or something like that. So although my screen is not working, or so I cannot show you on my Chrome browser online compiler, but you can imagine like that. You can practice it on your own compiler. So developer.contact, I cannot easily print it like that or inside the class object. You can do it with the help of object, no problem, but with the help of a class you cannot do it. But there's another method that JavaScript provides you, that is prototype. So if you are providing like this domain, this is domain dot prototype, and you want to pass any parameters, but I passed a contact over here, as you can see over here. Here I provided a contact, but I'm providing it inside of inside with the help of a object and inside the object. But again, I'm providing it inside the object, but not not into the object. I'm providing it with domain and domain dot prototype. So prototype is a word that is very essential to you. Dot contact, I passed up the value and it is showing like that again. And if I'm implementing this operation in my DOM part and it is showing like that, please text me on my phone number, that is this 8810799695. So it is very simple to you. So it is a very simple thing. So these are something that is JavaScript provides to you. So these are the functionalities of JavaScript constructors. Here we are just created the 50% of the constructors part. In the next session we will be completing the constructors definitely. So I hope if what I discussed in some slides, it would be clear to you. So let's move up to uh, this part, that is error resolving part. See, error resolving is something like that. When you are working in any if you are there in online interviews or offline interviews, what mainly the current trend is like that. They give you a sort of a code and they will ask you to debug it, or you can say or ask you to find out the output, and it's not necessary you're finding out. They will asking you to provide ask you that what kind of error is showing up in the code or like that. So how people can resolve it? So let's take up a sample code and see. And these codes are like something uh, there, and these codes are asked at somewhere in the interview. So I took up this code. So let's check up this code. This code is telling like let x is equals to false. Rudrash, is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is visible.
Rudrash?
You can continue.
Okay. So I was telling you that let x is equals to false, let y is equals to 0. See, it is not O, it might be looking like you over here. And then let z is equals to 0 again. and then when I'm doing it console.log like that, so console.log is x is equals to y, and console.log x is equals to z. I'm showing two kinds of operators. So if you people can guess the output, it's well and good. So I can wait for 2 or 3 seconds. You can guess the output. So uh, if you are knowing the output, you can tell, or I should tell you the output. Actually, the output will be if you compare the output false with 0. See, 0 over here is
Output will be true, I think.
what?
Console.of x equal to y, output, I think, true.
Yes, yes. Yes, Keshav, you are right. The output will be true because the reason in the first part console.log x is equal to y, the output will be true, and the next line also x is equals to z also, the output will be true given. In both the part 1 and part 2, output will be true. The the Boolean expression will be coming as true. So let me conclude the reason that why it is coming true. That because it was coming true because see, false is a Boolean expression, everyone knows, and that is your x, and that is stored in your x part. Y is your, you can say, 0. But y is 0, but y is a string over here. Y is y has been yes. Ragnash, are you saying something?
No, you can continue.
Okay, I was saying that x was a Boolean value that was false, and y was and y is a, again I'm saying it is 0. It's not O, and z is also 0. See, so let's check out this y. See, when you're comparing, see, these two are comparing operators. So when you're comparing false with 0, Boolean expression to 0, and 0 is a string over here. Everyone knows this. So although it is a string, but there will be type. See, there is one term known as type cohesion, and that is very similar to type conversion. Type cohesion is very similar to type conversion. Okay, cohesion is something. It's a very standard word, or you can say a modified English term, but the meaning is almost same. Type cohesion, the spelling is like that: COERCION. So if in future anyone is asking you, you can say it like that. So type cohesion is totally it's a simple meaning of type cohesion is type conversion. Type conversion and type casting, for example, there are two types of type conversion: implicit and explicit. So although I'm not discussing about implicit and explicit, everyone knows about implicit and explicit. So implicit and so the it is converting to the value as as a false value, and if both is coming false, everyone knows if x is also false, y is also false, the output will be a Boolean expression that is true. And similar to a z is 0 over here, and if you're comparing false with 0, so 0 is always 0 over here. So 0 and false is false, and 0 and in binary expression also, we are comparing binary to Boolean, then also 0 will be 0 and false, then it will be returning the output as false. So and both the x and y z are getting compared, and it is getting false. So it was too simple. So although I'm just wrapping up with my session of today's session, here you can see up over here a prototype. There are some important, you can say, questions that were asked inside the, you can say, interviews, or you can say many, you can say, MNCs. When you are taking JavaScript, you can say, session. So JavaScript interviews. First one is prototype chain. Prototype chain in JS, if anyone knows, it is a very important thing. Prototype chain is a fundamental concept that belongs to the inheritance model. It allows, you can say, allows inherit properties and methods from the objects. So prototype chain, and prototype are four kinds of, you can say, part over there. So prototype in some of my last session, if you have remembered, I've told you about prototype. Prototype is something like you can it belongs to more it belongs to the concept of inheritance. Likewise, JavaScript doesn't follows a traditional inheritance model, it follows a prototypal inheritance. But so that is belonging to that. But when you talk about a chain, what is prototype chain? So here we are discussing about a prototype chain. So chain is something that from a prototype, the chain of prototypes from one object to its ancestors. It determines how properties and methods are resolved when they are not found directly on the object. Okay, so this is a kind of a reference of prototype object that was used when the object was instantiated or initiated. It's when internally by JavaScript to look up properties and methods. And it is if a property or method isn't found on any object or this prototype, JavaScript looks at object.prototype. So might you have been understanding if in my one of my slides I told you about this prototype model. See if you okay, in here also I was telling you about the prototype. For example, in one of my slides, I was telling you about prototype. So if you so there also let's if you can look up here, so the prototype chain is like that only. It's a reference model that is a part of an inheritance to instantiate an object, and it's because and what is chain over here? It is inherited from its ancestors, so it is forming a chain from one object to another object like that. Okay, so basically prototype chain is like that. So it belongs to the root object for the root object also. So you can refer it like that. And what is the example? I showed you the example. So hosting in JavaScript, if you is like that, global and local variable. When you if you studied about scope and global and local variable, so variable hosting both var and function declarations are hosted, but there is a difference between var, let, and const. See, hostings are of variable hosting, function hosting. Hostings are of two types. So in this example, the var to declaration is hosted. Although I cannot show any example over there, but you can understand like that JavaScript it is a kind of a behavior where variable and function declarations are moved on top of the containing scope during the compilation phase before code execution. So hosting is like that when you compile up your code, and when a code has been compiled over there, so there is one declaration, variable and function declarations will move to the top of the containing scope. Okay, so before the execution of the code, this can lead to some surprising behaviors if you're not familiar. So like that, it helps in the execution when before the compilation. It helps before the execution at the point of compilation of the code. Okay, it helps at the compilation phase. For example, there's a variable hosting, both var and function declarations are hosted, but here is a difference between var, let, and const. So for example, var declared with var hosted, and let and const variable declared with let and const are hosted on top of the block scope like that. So we are running a shortage of time. In the next session, I will be explaining the type of hosting. Here I told you about hosting. So how do we create an object and how do we create an array? Creating and in my last session I have in some last sessions I have discussed about all these things, creating an object and creating an
Then wrap up in 1 minute.
Yes. So creating an object is like creating an object is like you can do it with the help of object literals, and creating an array. Everyone knows how to create an array with the help of new keyword. It's like that, and you can create an array JavaScript as well. So difference between double is equals to and triple is equals to, it is so if as I was telling you about the type conversion, it is like that only. Double is equals to, it's not so working is both the same, both the working of both the operators are same, but the double is equals to is not so appropriate, but the triple is equals to is always appropriate to the functions. Okay. So the difference is like that only. Triple equals to provides you the type conversion. Double equals to doesn't provide you the type conversion. So JavaScript program to find the maximum number in an array and a function to calculate the sum of two numbers. Actually, there are many methods. So so if you, if my screen is visible to you, so you can see up the you can see up the code over there. For example, first type stored in the sum a comma b. I see I there are many methods. I use the arrow method over here. So I with the help of arrow method a plus b, and you can store it in the result, and you can print the result as console.log, and you will get the sum. So logic is very simple. Everyone knows logic is not important, but the methods are very important. So I will try to discuss about the methods in the next section and revise of these methods. And last question is program to find up the maximum number in an array. So finding the maximum number in an array. For example, if you're creating creating.
So hello everyone. Firstly, I will introduce myself. So my name is Rudransh, and I am a second year student. Currently, I am exploring the world of GitHub. So in my previous presentation, I will explain the thorough concepts of Git. With my previous presentation like Git 9. In that presentation, I explain about GitHub desktop and various things about GitHub, how we can explore this, how can we see the commits, how we can commit in the GitHub desktop model. So today I will proceeding further and moving forward attached with my previous presentation. Like this is the my Git 10th session. And in this session, I tell you about GitHub desktop and terms related to it. Okay, just give me a second so that I can share my screen now. So firstly, tell me about like my screen is visible to all or not.
Yes, your screen is visible. You can continue.
Okay, okay. Yes, thank you. So I proceed. So in the first slide, you see that why do we actually need repositories? That is remote repositories. We make the repositories. What is repository? Firstly, like .git folder is we can say that it is a repository. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, just okay. Yes. Okay. So .git folder is basically a repository. If you ask about what is directory, so directory is the folder name. Folder name is actually equivalent to the directory. And repository is the database where we can store. That is .git folder. Okay. So why do actually need remote repositories? So then the word came remote. So remote is basically remote repository is the process like we can deploy in a public server. So a repository, a database which is remote, like which is a public database. We can call it as a GitHub because it stores our repository or what we can store like files in a global way. So why do we actually need repositories? First question arises, need of the remote repositories. So if we store the files in our local repository, when we try to reset the laptop, then the repositories which we are stored will be vanished. And when the laptop is reset mode and when the laptop is open again, then we can't have the access to reach that files which we store in the local repository. So there you can see there are basically three parts like working directory, staging area, and Git repository. In the second, this version like this is me, and this is another one of my friends, and this is one of the public repository type. Like this is the main GitHub portion where the working directory, staging area, and Git repository combining, and that's called GitHub desktop. Okay, so like here I have a new file which is stored in my Git repository in a local database. So if like this is my one of my friend like Mike's computer and this is my computer. So when I make a repository and like Mike and me make a project. So when I modified some portion, then I added some files over that repository and I share this thing with my friend Mike to done this to to obey these rules and get the file which I have added previously. Okay. So there is a conversation between two computers. It is very easy. Like I talk to my friend with my WhatsApp, it is very easy portion with an individual thing. Like I have to only talk to my friend. That is an individual part. If I have to talk like many developers, many persons working on a same project, then it is tough to share the documents and the share the portions which we are talking about. So there I have to need some part, some individual entity that has work to share with everyone portion. Okay, so here the comes part that is remote repository. I created a file and then I will push. Actually, in this, we are on the local repository. So we are on the local device, local setup. So we have to push this. And after pushing, it will go to the remote repository part. Here, the new file is generated. You can see visually. Okay. So by the thing, you can get to know that GitHub desktop have the three reasons: working directory, staging area, and Git repository. If the Git is installed on your computer, then it has also three parts: working directory, staging area, and Git repository. By the help of this, you can see that Git and GitHub basically a same concept, but Git is basically work on your local device, like Git is a tool, and GitHub is a remote part, like public server. So here you can see, like I firstly share this file to the remote repository, to the public one, and uh, then this new file is shared with the like Mike is also connected to this repository, so it will also get. If the Mike like if I grant the Mike to read the files from remote repository, actually I am the author, so I have the access to push or to push the content in the remote repository. But Mike has only the access to read out, not to write. I have the access to read and write both. But the Mike, which is another developer, this is not access to write over there. When I grant access to my friend, actually this will I covered this push and pull in my next presentation, a little bit in this presentation also, but there is a permission to write and read, okay, in the GitHub desktop and like these things. Okay, so here the new file is shared among uh, three ones, like in my computer and in the remote repository part in the Mike's computer. So I explained this concept. So here, remote repository is a single point of interaction between collaborators. Like many participants and many persons are collab in the project. So there is a single point of interaction is required, because without this, a project or a work together concept is not applied. So there is a single point interaction between collaborators through remote repository. It is one of the point that I tell you. Okay. In interaction between local repository and remote repository, this command is very useful. So the first command is git pull, git push, and git fetch. Basically, these three commands are helping us to access or to work with the remote repository part. So interaction with Git repository, there are four parts like working directory, staging area, and Git repository. It is the same in all the Gits. And when the repository part is added, like I link my GitHub desktop or a local host thing to the public one, then it is a one part is coming that is called remote Git repository. So what is working directory? Here we can make files. Here we can edit files. In a staging area, what is the concept of a staging area? Actually, many interview in the many interview of companies, what is the they ask about what is staging area. So in the staging area, files will be prepared to be committed, or it will be prepared like it will be also prepared to go to the working directory. In my previous like in the Git 5 or Git 6, I explained about how the files go to the staging area to the working directory and Git repository to the staging area. So left to left to left and right to right to right. I explained all the concepts in my previous presentations. So if you want to study about this, you can go. But I will explain in this presentation also a little bit like what is Git add. It will like I have in my mind, I have to make a new file. So just use the command like I created with the help of Nano, I created a file and there I will write some text over there. So just use git add command and add to the staging area. After that, if you wanted to store it, then use the command git commit and it will be stored in a git. So before this, you have to inherit the before this also git init command, so that the git inside your directory will be stored, and it will have the access to stored files which you have created in your directory portion. Okay, like directory, what is directory? That is the folder. Inside the folder, after using git init command, .git folder is created. So this git add, git commit, I explained. Like git checkout. What is git checkout? Like at the particular instance in my previous presentation, I explained that like I have to create a branch name. I have created a branch that is not a main branch. Like at the particular instance, I have to add some files, and at that instance, I required the files. So just I name branch new. Okay. At this instance, I'm making the commits. So these and we like head default work on a main branch. Like head moves to the forward, and thus the instance where we have created a branch that is missed. So if I have to go on that instance on the branch, so we have to use git checkout and the branch name. Okay. So it will jump into the certain versions of your project, like earlier 3-5 days, what I have done. So I just move to the head pointer to that instance. Okay. So at there, you can check what is the version of the project at that instance. A salt story is the branch name. Okay. So the next portion is Git repository to remote repository. How we can move the files to the Git repository to the remote repository. It is very interesting part. Actually, many developers study Git because of this, because they have to show their skills to the public one. But the concept is not this. If you work on the Git has many features, but the sometimes the developers or the students, like I also study Git because of the interaction between Git repository, like local devices, local setup to the remote repository to the public setup. But the concept is not this. If we have studied something, then if any question asked in that question, you have to answer that. So for the preparation of interview, you must be prepared for this also. So just remote repository part. So push to the remote repository. Like I am working on my local device and I have added some files. So just use git push command. And after that, the some files is stored in a remote git repository. And after, if I want to like I created a branch. Actually, I explained through implementation part also in next slides after the completing the slides. So from a remote Git repository to the Git repository, Git fetch command is used. So what is Git fetch? Actually, in the remote Git repository, like I have created a branch, and if you go on the local device, the branch is not showing. So firstly, you have to fetch that branch. Okay, you have to use the command git fetch. Okay, after that, the branch is come to the Git repository portion, not in the working directory portion. If you want the complete file, then you have to use git pull. Merge changes like git pull. What is git pull? I explain in last of slides, but today, this time I will give a little bit introduction. What is git pull? So what is git pull? Git pull is basically a combination of merge and git fetch command. Firstly, we have to git fetch it, and after that we have to merge it. Like I explained, what is merging? Merging is basically concept of two ways. That is, first one is the pass forward merge, second one is the three-way merge. At the three-way merge, a new commit is generated. Pass forward merge, it is simply a pointer, head pointer moves to the present commit. Okay. So just move next slide. So although we can commit directly if we want, like these things I explained in my previous presentation. So just stage and commit what the commands git commit /s/m and commit message. It will directly commit from working directory to the git repository. The middle portion is missed with the help of this command. But I explained, if you with me, then you get to know that all the times this command is not working. Okay, you have to, this command is working, but sometimes this is not working. So the correct way is that firstly you have to go to the stage like git add star command. With the help of this command you can stage it, and after that you can commit it. That is the simple version, but if you want, then go with this also. So push to remote repository only fully tested and verified features. So if like I made up some modifications over there and committing over there, so after testing of full features, like if I push this thing to the my main project, it will not break my project. So you have to firstly test the loopholes, the contents that you wanted to push, that is completely good or better for your project. Sometimes when you push this thing, and after pushing it will be locally it will be publicly stored, and it will create a threat of your threat, like we can say, it will create a loophole of your project, and then it is difficult to find out where you have done the wrong thing. So firstly you have to test full, like this is the verified, and then you have to push it. So some important point, example of fetch, like I explained, like I create some particular instance branch name and all that. So let's suppose that a new branch was created in a remote repository. Like in a remote repository, I created a branch. After git fetch and in the local repository, when I come, then I not see anything about that branch which I have created recently in my remote repository portion. Okay, like this time, this here, actually you can see here. Here you can see these are the branches. Okay, these are the branches name. If I created new one and it is not visible, so the thing you have to, I explain in firstly I have covered it, like if this time I am able to explain, then I have explained this. Like here I create a branch, like my branch name is hello. Okay, just create from me. So here you can see the branch hello is created, and then go I will go to this portion. Okay, so here you can firstly, here you can see we can start with this. Okay, so this time firstly I will like move git checkout to the new. Firstly, if you wanted to know how many branches, then just use the git branch command. So here you can see new and main branches present. Okay, so just git like I use git. So here you can see new branch and main branch is present. Git branch /8. So basically, what is the command? That is git branch. That if git branch is over there, it will show how many branches present. But here you can see the new hello branch is not mentioned. Hello branch is not mentioned. Actually, it will not see your branches which is remote branches. So if you want to see all the branches, like also remote branches, which will remain in your remote repository and also in your local or in your local device. So just use git branch slash a command. This will, like, new or main is the locally present command and also the publicly like remote, but the command head new and main is also a remote command and remote command. So remote is basically means what? It is a public one. So here you cannot see what? Here you cannot see hello, which I have created recently. So if I want, firstly I check out this to the new branch. So we are new branch. Okay. This time I just use git fetch. So here you can see from GitHub RD GitHub, my first GitHub repository. It is my it is created when I I explained in my previous presentation also. The same GitHub repository I will use here also. So a new branch hello will be originated, and this time after git fetch, like I go to the repository and I like this arrow will be work. This arrow git fetch command is update a hello branch name, and this thing also I done recently. And if this time I have to know how many branches are present, just use this command a. So here you can see new and main, which is a local one. After this, I will tell you how make it local. But firstly, you can see um, like what I try to explain. Here are three public branches is present. Hello branch, new branch, and main branch. Hello is not present or locally. So my work is done. A branch is showing that is hello, which we have created recently. But the task is not complete yet. If you have to insert this instance also in your local branches, just use the git checkout command. Git checkout. What is name? That is hello. And after this, you can see switch to the new branch hello. Branch hello setup to track original hello. Okay. So this time if I use what? Git branch. So here you can see hello is a local branch because git branch in previous git branch is what showing git this new and main is showing by the git branch. But this time there's three branches present. So we can make it also a local branch. So the thing is done, which I have to explain this point. Okay. Just remove this branch. Git checkout. If you want to like confirm that with the help of this command also, then you can proceed now. So here are three local and three public one. So you are vary with the terms, what is origin and what is something like what is main. Main is the main branch you all done. Like what is this text means? I have explained it. Wait a minute. Wait 2 or 5 minutes. You can get to know what is origin. So here you can see origin and main slash. So okay, I will go to the presentation part. So I will explain what is git fetch command. It will work as same branch will created in git repository because branch is just a text file in .git reference. I have to fetch that text file in my local also repository. What is git pull here? Git pull. If you work on a local device, local repository like in my computer, not in the my computer, because I have to access to the grant and I have the power to pull this. So just use clone remote repository. Firstly, these are the steps. Clone repository that I have cloned. So first thing, you make sure that if you created a repository in your device, in your laptop, like I have created a folder and like this thing I will show you here, just cd p1. Okay. So this time I am on a p1 branch. If I want to run these commands like git branch, branch is showing here because branch is a common term, new one. Okay. But if I wanted to know how many branches, that is the remote part is present here. So just use here only see three parts, like three branches. So these commands /a/m will show the public one when you have to relate when you have clone with public. If I want to something that clone with public, I explained in actually in the fourth presentation also what how you can clone it. 4 to 5, I doesn't remember. If you proceed with me, then you understand. Like if you proceed previously with me, then you can understand. But this time git clone and the what is the your like here just I moved. What is the this? Copy this and write the command git clone and paste this. Just you have copy, just you have clone all the repository portion in your laptop. But the concept is this: the branch's name is only one branch is permitted in your local repository. Like in my repository, in my remote repository, I created 3 branches. But if I go to the if I clone this thing, these 3 branches in a local repository, then only one repository is called a tracking branch. Tracking branch, what is that? Like it is connected portion with the GitHub desktop and with the Git also. So if you use in the local device, only one branch is permitted, that is master or main branch. You have to use like git checkout hello. So this will connect, and the continuation hello is also a tracking branch. But firstly, you have to git checkout and you have to done the command git checkout and the branch name, which you have tried to linking. Linking is very important. So it is the it is an interview question like how many branches after if you connect it to the GitHub desktop to your local repository, only one branch is permitted. That is the master branch. Okay. So I just move in my presentation part. So this is the concept of pull yar. I explained also in my presentations, in my next presentation, what is pull and push entirely. So just read it out. Clone repository. Firstly, this is the main thing because the remote repository is the main thing. Git checkout master branch locally. Git checkout and use master. Make changes and commit then master. Like I have extra added a make changes and commit them in master branch in remote repository. I will go to the public repository part, public like on the remote repository on a public server. Here we can just commit something. After that, git pull locally. After that, you will use git pull locally and will fetch remote changes. After fetching git will merge remote master branch into local master branch and fast forward with three-way merge. The staging area index and working directory will be automatically updated after merge. Okay, this is the thing I explained. I explain in my next presentation also. So just skip this. So how your local repository is connected, the remote repository part. So like you listen, like I make a remote repository. Okay, and I will store all the files in remote repository. After that, one of my friend named Keshav, it will try to clone all the repository portion like git clone command with the help of this. If uh, if try to done this command locally and just paste just done the cloning of my remote repository to their local desktop. After that, with the help of their laptop, automatically a link file is created, a linked remote repository is created, which is by default name as origin. So origin is a name which will created automatically by your data desktop after cloning in another computer. Like 4 or 5 person are working on a project and in like they all clone it. So after cloning, a first link created with your remote repository is the default name of that remote repository is origin. Okay. So using this command, you will list all the server connected to. So if you want to know how Git, like previous Git default name this. So it is a public server. Firstly, I will done this command and you will get to know how this. So git remote. So here you can see, I will not attach anything. Okay, it will not attach also where it have been cloned. Like it will not attach with RD GitHub, but it will automatically attach with the origin part. Okay, so just I covered it fastly. Okay, so git remote, it will show how many servers it will connect. Uh, Git remote /a. Okay, sorry, /b. So here you can see the URLs, and it will be applicable for fetch and push also. So RD GitHub repository.git. Okay. So here with the help of this, we can get to know how files is done. Like these URLs are help to the git fetch and git push. Okay. Just I read. So using git remote. Okay. Using git remote /v list all the links I explained. I run this command also. This command will work only when we clone some repository into local repository, then automatically some remote servers are connected. That is origin. I explained also. So when we try to apply in the repository, when we created in a local repository portion, these commands will return like p1 git bash live. Actually, I have explained you na why these commands is not working on like this thing. I explain also. Here I just use git what? Git branch, not git branch, actually git remote. So here you can see nothing will be outputted. So it will not a cloned repository. These commands will work only cloned repository part. So we will go on the next. If you want to the list all the branches, local as well as remote, then git branch /a. This command I will use here, and I will use all this. Then you can see git. Firstly, what is git branch? It will with the help of this you can see all the repository, all the branch name which is public, which is local one, and like git branch /a. With the help of this you can get all the local and the remote part portion which will present previous which will present before cloning. Okay, just git branch /r. With the help of this you can get to know how many remote branches basically. So /r basically a remote portion. So there are git branch, git branches, git branch /r, git remote. I explained git remote /v. I explained also. So here you can see name of the default git server is origin. I explained. If we want to list only remote branches, then git branch /r. I explained also. After cloning one branch, after cloning only one branch, so as well as locally in local repository, and other branches also are remote repository. Actually, I explained only one. I explain you how only one branch is permitted in your local repository after cloning. That is the main branch. But if you want more branches, more recent branches, which will before also present, just use a git checkout. But if the branch name is not present before cloning, if the branch name is present before cloning, then just use a git checkout and branch name. That will be a tracking branch connected. And if this branch is not connected, like this branch is not the name of the branch is not add in the remote repository previously before cloning, so it will not done. Okay, this command is not working. So at that time you have to use git fetch command. Okay, just after cloning of any repository, git will create only one local branch. I explained that is the master branch with the same name as the default branch in the remote repository. Actually, sometimes we can change also the name of the remote repository part. So if you like, I name it new is the main device. Actually, in the recent servers of GitHub desktop, actually the point where the main branch change name is not visible. But in the previous versions also, actually, I don't see where that section also to change the main branch name. But if you got then that is the good. Actually, it provides this feature, but sometimes it will not visible. Do also we are on the next portion, that is the tracking branches, remote branches and local branches. So just here you can see what is release and release. Release is also present in remote repository, release is also present in local repository. Like there I created a hello and local, I just git checkout. With the help of git checkout and git fetch, I connected. So this branch is called what? this branch has a special name that is called the tracking branches. So master is also tracking branches. BR2/2 is also a tracking branch, but BR1 is BR-1 is not a tracking branch because it is only present on the remote repository. If I want to done this also in a local repository, then firstly I will use the command git fetch, and then secondly I use the git checkout command. Okay, so local repository / temp. Okay, you replace the name with temp like hello. The same process I done before. Actually, there you can see a temp branch which is not present on the remote repository portion. So there is a no tracking branch. So this explains temp is a not no tracking branch. Remote repository corresponding branch. If this both the links are connected and this will work together, then it is called this. Okay. So after applied, firstly you have to know what after apply the command git branch / vb. So just I run this command. It is the clone. It is not the clone part. Just here git branch / vb. So here you can see this hello is attached to the origin - hello because origin is a default remote repository name, and inside that uh, hello branch is over there. So this hello and this hello is connected. So this is called tracking branches. This command is basically so the tracking branches like new is connected to the origin - new, main is connected to the origin - main. So it will show that these branches are the linked branches, or we can say the tracking branches. Okay, so sometimes like if I don't check out this, then only though like I just uh, give me a second. So just I try to implement this temp. Just create a new branch. Hello, temp. So here a new branch is created. Just firstly I have to fetch this because without fetching this command will not also show in the git branch / a command. Just I fetch this. So a branch is fetched like temp, but the git branch / pv. So here you can see only 3 branches present because without checkout this command this branch is also not shown here. So git branch sorry, git checkout what branch is temp branch. So after this, if you use the command git branch / vb, new temp branch is connected. That is called the tracking branch. And I explained this concept also. So here you can see after applying, it is the linking branch. The current commit is this thing, hello, create hello, and the hash value of this. So if you have any branches that is not tracking branches, remote repository, then go to the repository portion. And this is simple process how you can commit is, and the thing you have to read it and nothing else. Okay. So now where the tracking branches is this, these branches can converted. If I want to delete the feature one branch, actually, if you want to delete the feature one branch, then this thing also good. The branch is deleted. After this, I want to delete a feature one branch, and I done it using I use the this process. Okay, git checkout master. Like I have, if I have deleted it, then nothing will done. Okay, just you may proceed. Like this branch is locally deleted. If I want again, then just use the git.
Less than 1 minute is remaining, Rudransh.
Yes, I will continue. I actually I required 2 minutes only. Okay, if presentation ends, then again I screen share, and within 2 or 3 minutes I will explain all the concepts. Okay, two slides are remaining. Okay, just this branch is deleted from here. If I just use git checkout git branch / vb. So here you can see only three branches present, one branch is missing, that is we have to delete it. If just git so here you can see git checkout command. Like I deleted the file here, hello, and after the checkout, this branch is also in the track. If this time I just use this command git branch slash vv, so this will also say that hello is also working. So just if like I just I delete a link, I delete the what is the row is creating in this, like in this here a master and master is created. If I just delete this, then this master is will be break, like in here you can see, like this is the rest portion where the branch is not available. Then again I just git checkout feature one branch, then the link is created and it will work also in the local repository portion. So just here where I am, just give me a second. Just I explain also this. So this diagram also. So we are here. Okay. If you want to complete details about how interaction between the desktop and the working portion is done, just use the command git branch so origin, whatever the repository name. Okay, uh, just give me a second. Actually, git not branch, it is the git remote. So here you can see hello. This will go get with the help of this command, you will get to know entire condition of your interaction between your local to the public repository part. So here is a remote origin, like you have you have connected with the remote repository, that is the origin. Okay, fetch URL, the fetch command is working on this. Push URL, and the push URL is working command on this. Head branch is the main branch. How many remote repositories are present? That is, there are 4 remote repositories. Local local branches configured to done the git pull command. So hello, so like new merges with the remote node. Like these branches are interconnected. So the interconnection is showing with the help of this diagram. Okay. At this instance, like hello, how main is also connected, temp is also connected. Like this time I just delete also like git branch slash d and hello. What actually we are on the hello now, so just check out the main portion firstly. If you are on the branch, then you can't able to delete the branch. So here the branch is deleted. If this time I just use the command git remote show repository name origin. So here you can see these like new main temp pushes to temp, like whatever the like hello is missing there and there, but it will present in the remote branches. Like if I automatically deleted which branch which I have created here, if give me a second, like I just wrap up in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, just here you go to the all and just I want to delete, like here I delete the temp one and it is deleted now. Okay, this time if you just run the command git let's do this. Okay, just enter this. So here you can see refs remote origin temp is stale. What is stale? I explained in my previous presentation. Stale is the branch which I earlier used. Okay, so use git like if I wanted to remove this purely from public one. So just git prune git remote prune. Give me a second. Remote prune and the repository name origin. Okay. So it will be pruned, and after that, if you run this command, so here you can see the thing is gone, but you see clearly that temp is present your locally devices in your local like git branch, because it will reside in your local. It will not push or pull, like the interaction is not done. If I wanted to lead there also, just I use the git branch slash d temp. So with the help of this, the branch is deleted, and this time git branch slash a. With the help of this, you can get to know all the branches. So here the temp is not present locally or in your local public repository part, and not in your local repository part. So just I will move further, and 2 slides is remaining, 2 or 3 slides. So this thing I is done. If you want to make a new repo, then remote repository, try to make this on the tracking branches. Firstly, actually, I will explain all this. I explained previously all this. So just read all the steps, and you can get to know what I'm trying to explain little bit slower. After this, if I delete a branch in the remote repository, like I explain also git remote prune, like I deleted in the public one, and I have to also delete in the I have to delete the attachment between this, then just use git remote prune and the branch name, like the public repository name. After this, you have done. So git pull consists of 2 things. I explained that pull is equal to fetch plus merge. So here is the diagram. Actually, one of my friend is waiting. So just I conclude that I will come explain all these things in my next presentation. So thank you all. If you have any doubt, then ask this time. Okay. Guys, any doubt?
No, I don't have any doubts.
Okay. So Keshav, you have to continue. Move forward.
Okay, okay.
It is started. Yes, the screen is also visible, and the network is now stable. You proceed now.
Okay, okay. Thanks for confirmation. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Keshav Asti, and from today I will start the presentations on Node.js. Rudranash, give me confirmation. My audio is clear, audible.
Audible, and the screen is also visible.
Okay, thank you. So, this is the PPT related to one of the important tech stack related to server-side technology called Node.js. Theory part, and then we will see the practical implementation. In today's presentation, there is not much practical implementation, but some commands are there related to Node.js that I will cover. So, topics that I will cover in today's PPT are these. The first is recap of terminal commands. Recap of terminal commands, as I've covered terminal commands previously in my previous PPT, PPT 3. So those commands I will cover, and the remaining commands that I have not covered due to some time limitation that I will cover today. And third is what is the basic difference between server and desktops. And fourth is what is the client and server sides. What is Node? Why do we use it? And the history of Node. Are Node and JavaScript are same? Why you should learn Node.js? And at the last, we will see how to install the Node in our personal computer or PC or desktops. So, firstly, we will cover some recap portion. So for recap portion, I will open my previous PPT. So it within 5 to 7 minutes, I will recap all the basic commands that I have covered in my previous presentation in PPT3. So in my previous presentation, I have covered what is the basic difference between GUI and CLI. as these are the two interfaces that operating systems gives us, or the with the operating system, these are the two interfaces that comes with. So first is UI. This is a graphical user interface that consists of beautifully systematic icons and media queries, or the medias is attached, so it looks very beautiful for the layman user to work with. And second is CLI, command line interface. Command line interface is very good for the developers, as we have to write only just the commands to run any file, or to open any file, or to do our common task. So these are the differences that I covered in my previous presentation. You can see. I have also discussed Windows comes with two inbuilt software of CUI. So CUI is further divided into two. One is CMD. The full form of CMD is Chief Managing Director, and the second is PowerShell. So these I have covered in my previous presentation. You can see. And here are some of the differences: PowerShell versus Command Prompt. And after these common topics, I have covered one of the shortcut key called as Windows R to open or enable terminal. To open the terminal, in which when we write some particular keywords which is already reserved to do some functionality by our operating system. So here in this you can see here you can write those keywords to open some functionalities which is already predefined by our operating system. So these are the some of the keywords like CMD, WinWord, and temp. CMD is to open the command line terminal, WinWord to open the Microsoft Word, temp to see the temporary files or junk files, and others like services.mnc.
Keshav, I have a
These
question.
wait yes, you can ask.
Like WinWorld is the shortcut to open the Microsoft Word. Whenever there is any shortcut for PowerPoint presentation also.
PowerPoint presentation right now I don't know, but I can tell you further.
Okay, okay,
Yes, it is there, but right now I don't know.
okay, okay.
So I will tell you in my future presentations. So next is any other doubts, Sudash? Hello.
No, no, no doubt.
Okay, okay. So CLS and DIR command I have covered in my previous presentation. CLS is basic command that is used to wipe out all the stuff that is currently present in my command terminal. And the DIR command is used to migrate ourselves from one folder to another folder in our operating system or in our directories. So dir command is ls command is same as dir command in macOS, because ls command cannot work in Windows operating system. And the next is cd command, current directory command. There are many ways to implement command directory command, like cd to see the current location or the current path, cd with folder name to migrate to that folder, cd with forward slash to move to the current drive, directly move to the current drive, cd with single pair of dot to to move one step back to the previous directory, cd with the pair of commands to move the particular given steps back, and the drive. So these I have covered. Mkdir and rmdir, or md or rd is the command which is used to make the directory, and rmdir command is used to remove the existing directory. So these are the syntax and the work and the important points related to these two commands. Next is commands to create a new file. In Windows, the type null command with the file name and echo dot command with the file name is used to create a new file in Windows. But in Mac OS, touch command is used to create a new file. And next is ren and del command. Ren is the rename command, which is used to rename a already existing file, and the del command is used to delete the particular file. Here is the important, you can see del star. So this command is used to del star and then the extension of the file which I have to delete. There may be the more than one file with the same extension present in the one directory, but let's say if I want to delete all those files with the same extension, then I can use this command del star del star and then extension of that file. So it will delete all the files that are ending with that extension which we have provided with the del. So these I have covered, and these are the commands that I have covered in my previous presentation. So I have covered this recap portion. Now I will move to the command that I have not covered or due to the some time foundation in my previous presentation. So the commands are copy and move command. So right now I will simultaneously open the GUI interface also, so it will be easy for you to understand. So right now you can see I am in the left portion you can see is the GUI interface, and right now I am in I am inside command practice folder or directory. So wait a minute. Windows R and then CMD. And in left side I have to open the command terminal view. So to change the directory I will use D. Now I will see I have to move to weekly source content, then CD and then W and then press tab. So it will automatically suggest me the name CLS, and then I will again see what are the directories which are there in. So I have to move to this source content. So I will again write CD and then V, then tab and enter. Uh, PIR. Oh, sorry, I have moved to the wrong folder. Wait a minute. CD dot and then CD C command practice and then CLS. So right now you can see in my right side I am in same folder uh, that you can see in my left side also. Command practice, and here also command practice. Okay. So now I will show you how to use this copy and move command. So syntax of copy command is like copy and then file name. Let's say if I have created, I will create some folders like mkdir and folder name. Let's say folder name is example example folder, and then press enter. So here you can see one folder is created. This, and I will create one file also. Echo with the help of echo command, echo dot, then file name, let's say example example file dot txt. So here you can see one file is also created, example file dot txt. So right now let's say one more command I want to show you, like if I want to see what is written inside this example file dot txt with the help of sorry, I will repeat again. Let's say if I want to see what is written inside this example file.txt file with the help of terminal. So I can use the command which is type and then file name sample.txt, and if I will press enter, because nothing is written inside the file. Here you can see if I will open this file with the help of GUI, or it will automatically open in Notepad. Here you can see this file contains nothing. Now, if I will write like uh, my name is Keshav Avasthi, and then Control S to save this file, and then I will close it. And now, if I want to see what is written inside this example file.txt in terminal, so I will use type command again and then file name example file.txt, and then if I will press enter, here you can see this is the sentence which is there in this file. So with the help of type command, we can directly see the content which is there inside the particular file. So if I will double click it, here you can see, wait a minute, here you can see this sentence is same as this. So this is the magic of type command. Now I will cross it. So I will clear the screen. Now you can see there are one folder, example folder, and one file is example file.txt. Let's say if I want to copy this example file.txt inside example folder. So what I will use? I will use copy. Here you can see the syntax. How here here the syntax written copy copy and the path of the folder in which you want to copy. So this is the syntax. This is the syntax. Here you can see. So I will write copy, and then what I have to copy? I have to copy this file. Example file.txt in which folder? In which path in the path command practice. I will copy it so it will be easy for me.
Okay,
D
so
drive inside
like
D drive.
type command, you tell me that I also use this command like cat file name. So when I run this command on the git bash shell, it will show the content. If you try that cat example file.txt.
Yes, yes. I have covered this type command in my next slide. Here you can see I have
Okay.
written also
Yes.
cat file name working is same as type command. Here you can see I have written this.
Yes, yes.
So right now, anything else?
No, no, that just the interesting part. Like type command is equivalent to the cat command. That was I would say.
Uh, there are many commands like ls. If I will talk about ls command, which is same as dir command in Windows, and cat commands is same as touch. And here dir command is same as touch command, I think.
Yes, yes, it may be
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. So I am again focusing on the copy command. So anything else, Rudansh?
No, 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 bro.
Okay. So here you can see right now I am implementing the copy command. I have write copy and this file which is here, and I want to copy this file inside this path. In this folder, command practice folder, which is there inside source content, and source content is inside weekly content, and weekly content is inside D drive. So command practice, I want to move this to this what example folder. Uh, Wait a minute, exam example folder folder, and then press enter. Wait a minute, what is the problem? Okay, we have to wait a minute. I will write the whole command. Uh, copy, and what I have to copy? I have to copy this file to the path which is there inside D drive. D drive slash. I will see the path. D drive slash, and then weekly. Sorry guys, it's taking some time. Weekly source content. Weekly. What is going on?
Okay, so just copy it from the terminal control, like with the help of keyboard, and then paste it. It maybe work.
Okay, I'm trying to do this. Example file.txt. I think I will copy this path and then here I will paste it. I think these black slash which is there, I want to make it forward slash. This is making, I think this is making the error. Now if I will, yeah, example folder forward slash, yeah. Sorry guys. Hey, sorry, Rudransh, I
Try
will cover
command
this
in
command
next
further.
next one. Okay, just you proceed now. Next command.
I will cover copy and move command in my further presentation. Right now, I am leaving this.
Yes, yes.
Some more commands are like type command. The functionality of type command to is to show all the content which is there in already existing file to show that content in directly in our CMD terminal. So we will use type command to do this. And this the implementation of this command type command I have showed you. Exit command. Like say if I will write Windows R and then press enter, CMD is opened. And then if I will write exit, then it will exit the CMD terminal. Windows R, and if I will write exit and then parenthesis with it, then also it is working as same as exit command. The working or exit command is to exit from CMD terminal. Next command is code and then folder name. So let's say Windows R. Wait a minute. Windows R and then CMD, and I will change the drive as CD, weekly source content, CD, then uh, VS, CD, and then VS. Here you can see inside the weekly source content, there is a one folder. Inside the weekly source content, weekly content, here is one folder VS source content. So if I want to open this folder and directly to our VS Code, I will write code and then name of that folder, which is VS source content. Then after entering, it will this folder is opened in my VS Code terminal. Here you can see this folder is open, and so this folder is open. So this is the working of code and then folder name command. Now next command is code and then dot. So what this command is will do. Let's say I am in GUI interface and I will open weekly source content, VS source content. So from here GUI, if I want to open this particular folder VS source content directly to uh, directly to Visual Studio Code. So I will write here I will select all this path and write CMD and then press enter. So here you can see this whole folder is directly opened in terminal. And here if I will write code and then dot and I will press enter. So here you can see with the code dot command, this folder is directly opened in my PS terminal. So but there are the two ways to run code command. So this is the working of code command. So code then folder name to open a particular folder that is present in current directory in VS Code, and code dot command is to open current directory in VS Code. So this is the working of code and code dot. Here you can see last is cat and then file name. This command is can run only in Mac OS terminals. This is not made for Windows terminals like CMD. The working of this command is same as type command. So these are the commands that are left in my previous presentation, which I have covered in this PPT4. I have covered.
Okay,
Copy and
so
move command
try
further.
to
And now
done type command,
what?
type command.
You want to see again what is the working
Yes,
of type command?
yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry. Let's say right now I want, let's say if I want to open this particular VS source content in my CMD. So I will write CMD and this will directly open this path in my VS Code. Let's say if I want to create a particular file through command terminal in this VS inside this VS source content. So I will write echo and then dot and then this, and then let's say I want to create the file like example.txt and then press enter. So here you can see one file is created, which is example.txt. Now, if I will write something inside example.txt, firstly, if I will write type and then example.txt and then press enter. Here you can see nothing is printed. There is a blank screen
Okay, okay,
because nothing
I
is there inside.
understand. Actually, I think I think another thing about type. Okay, just I think that type is something that returns the what is that format of the file, like .txt, .mp4,
No, no, no.
.mp3.
No,
Actually,
no, no. Type command.
is the content inside it. I understand. Okay, I remember.
Okay, okay. So let's say if I will write like class something, class and then anything like if I will write Java program. So let's say if I write only this much and then control S and then if I will browse it, exit this file and now if I will write again type and then name of the file and if I will press enter, so here you can see this is the content which is there inside this example.txt. Any confusion, Rudransh?
No, no. You can proceed now.
Okay. So I will again continue with my presentation. So I have covered I've covered the recap of terminal commands and the remaining commands. Now the next topic is what is the difference between server and uh, normal desktops. And this copy and move command I will cover in my future presentation.
Keshav, you have 22 minutes. Then you can cover in 22 minutes your entire presentation.
Okay, I will try my best to cover it. So my next topic is what is servers and what is and desktops. So what is the basic difference between a server and a desktop? So here I have pasted four images. You can see these are the images that are depicting the servers. These are the actual servers or the real server that a normal that looks like. So these are the actual images of the servers, like Google servers or the big IT company servers. These are the images of these. And this is how our normal desktop looks like. So now in my next slide, I will show you the differences. What is the server and the desktops? So difference between server and a desktop. So desktop is a simple structure computer which is built for the normal user to perform its basic tasks like computing, to run Excel and other stuff, basic games also. So desktop are meant to do the basic calculations or the basic computational things. Servers are the advanced and complex structured computers because servers which are deployed globally over the world. Normal user do not know where his actual data is present over the globe. So because uh, actual users do not know where his actual data is presented over the globe. So, but that data is presented inside the server. The location of that server is doesn't know by the normal user. So, server is that complex and advanced because it can handle the data of multiple users. So this is the server. Desktop uses single desktop computers, as I have shown you the image of how the desktop looks like, and the server uses the Xenon and Itanium processors in multiple numbers. Server consists of various processors, or it is a multi-processor system which consists of the processor that are built with the material called Xeon and the Itanium processors. Uh, Next difference is single hard disk is used normally basic. If I will talk about the basic computer, it consists of basically the single hard disk or the two hard disks. But server does not consist of single hard disk. It is made up of with multiple hard disks are used at the same time or the simultaneously, I can say. Next is normal network capability. Desktop, we will use the not normal network stuffs like sending the messages or receiving some messages or like this type of stuffs. We can do with desktop. But server can hold the network capability. Its network capability is better than the normal desktop because server consists of various networks because a server consists of database of Google also. It is connected with the database of other MNCs also like Tesla, I have to say like Tesla and other IBM database also. So it has various network or the various complex network it is holding. So this is the difference. Next difference is are built for individual use. The normal desktop are built for the individual users or the common persons. And the servers are more servers consist of the data which is handled by the server for more the users or the multiple users. Doesn't have redundant system. And next point is requires a redundant system to cope with failure. Let's say if there is a failure arises in a desktop and in parallel in server. So if there is a error arises in desktop, then we can use any softwares like antivirus also, and the other troubleshooting stuffs we can use to handle the desktop failure. But if the case arises of any type of failure in the server, then huge team of the developers and the scientists, computational scientists are required to uh, solve that server related issue, because servers is very much complex thing. Next is operate for normal hours, like 6 to 7 hours for a normal user, and server, it has to be run 24 cross 7 hours globally. Next is desktop are basically our small size, and server is of very huge and heavy weight. Next is normal hard drive is used, and in server the hard drive is swappable hard drive. What is swappable hard drive? Here you can see this is the image of the server. This is the server. Let's say if any hard drive is crashed, then then if in the case of desktop, we will open the CPU part and we will decentralize that hard drive. This will takes a lot of time. But if there is a crash arises in the hard drive which is there in server, so because the hard drive is swappable inside the server, we can easily detach that particular hard drive which is crashed, and we can insert directly that hard drive inside the servers. So this is the meaning of what is swappable hard drives and what is non-swappable hard drives. So next is can be assembled, because we can easily assemble the desktops, but in server these can't be assembled. Once the server is created, it cannot be further deassembled or assembled again. It is very complex task to reassemble it again. Next is easy troubleshooting, as I have discussed this point, and here the troubleshooting of the server is very difficult. Next point is require less power and cooling, requires more power and cooling, because as we know, these are of these are very huge and heavy weighted machines. So cooling and the power is required for them is more. Next is they are less noisy, and servers are more noisy. Next is the companies which are the manufacturers of the desktop, like SCL and Wipro, Lenovo and Compaq are the machines or the companies which are manufacturers of these desktop. And for the server, the companies which are famous for the development of the server are IBM, HP, Sun and Dell. These are the examples of the companies. And last point is these are less expensive and this is more expensive. This is the common point which anyone can uh, see. So this I have covered basic difference between server and desktop. Now, next point is what is a client and server. So here you can see the image. Clients can be any type of machine which a normal user is usually using nowadays, like desktop or laptop or mobile or Android phone, iOS. This can be iOS also, and the desktop or the personal computer. So these are the machines that these machines are called clients that are faced by the normal user. Now these machines are connected with the internet, and with the help of internet, they can connect with any server which is deployed globally all over the world. So to access that global part, we require the medium of internet, because can only communicate the server can only make the proper communication pathway between the clients and the database. So here now in our next image I will show what is database. So firstly, I will cover some of the differences between a client side and server side. So what is client side? Client side, the first difference between client side is client are the end user devices like web browser, mobile phones, or desktop application where user interact with the application. And in server side, data processing. Data processing means servers handle data processing, storage, and manipulation tasks required by the clients. Let's say there is a web app where I have to perform some calculation, like I want to add some numbers. So for adding that numbers, I want to connect with some of the servers, which is globally deployed over the continent. So, uh, firstly, I will show you this image. Wait a minute. Firstly, I will show you this image. So here you can easily see. Let's say this is an web application. Wait a minute. So let's say this is an web application and this is a mobile application. These two wants to access some data over the internet with the help of internet. So they do not directly communicate with database. There is a medium which is required to make a proper pathway between the clients and the database. And the medium which will do this task is server. So server will manage all the multitasking, all the complex stuff to make a proper connection between the web application, which are the clients, and the data of the clients which is stored in database. So to access that data, there must be a proper connection which the server has to give, so that there can be a proper pathway to access that data for the users. So this diagram I want to show you, so to make you understand properly. Now the second difference is front-end logic. The client execute front-end logic such as rendering user interfaces, handling user input, and managing client-side data manipulation. So front-end logic, this is the basic difference. Like normal, if I have, let's say if I have created one website, and that website, the working of that website is to perform some basic calculation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So here, so to implement that website, I have write some logic, front end logic, that how after clicking that button, what should we have to perform. Like if like there, let's say if there is a calculator in my web app. So after pressing that plus button, there must be a operand that exists. There must be a operator that exists between the two operands to perform the addition task. So that's the logic which I will apply in front-end logic. And back-end logic is to store the particular data over the database. Is happened in backend logic. So here you can see the difference. The server executes the backend logic such as handling database interaction, business logic, authentication, and other server-side operation. Next difference is user interaction. Clients primarily handle user interaction and presentation of data. They communicate with the backend to fetch and submit data. Let's say, you have seen some as sorry. Let's take an example like government website. Government, let's say there is a form is released by the government where the normal users have to fill that form to register him or herself for that vacancy. So to register that information or the basic information like name, age, gender, and qualification, we will fill in that form, and then if we will press enter. So after entering that details code is saved to database. And to make a proper connection between the information and the database, there must be a server as a uh, which is running in between to make a proper and a stable connection. So that's the user interaction, that how the user interacting with that vacancy form, and server side is for storing that basic details. So these are the basic difference between client and server. So now our next slide is what is Node.js. So Node.js is a running environment for JavaScript. So here are some of the points that
Keshav,
I will cover.
I'll create a
Yes.
meeting, join again, and then start with Node.js.
Okay.
The screen is also visible. Keshav, your voice is not this time.
Now it's coming.
Yes, it's coming. Okay, continue.
So I have completed till client and server side. Now I am completing our next topic is now I'm starting my next topic, which is Node.js. So what is Node.js? So Node.js is a runtime environment for running and executing the JavaScript code outside the browsers to make a server-side applications. So these are the points. Node.js is a runtime environment for running JavaScript code outside the browsers. Node is not a language. It is basically a platform to execute a JavaScript code outside the browser so that user or the developers can make a backend, make a uh, server side application with the help of JavaScript. So this is what the node is. Now third point is this is a server-side environment. As I have told you, Node.js is used to make a server-side application. Fourth point is Node.js can connect with database. So Node.js act as an interface to connect a normal client with the database. Database is the database. I think this is there in my next slide. So I will cover when it will come. My fifth point is code and syntax is very similar to JS, but not exactly same as JS. As we know, Node.js is a platform to running a JavaScript code. So the syntax is about 98% are the same as JavaScript. But some of the differences that are there, some of the what I have to say, some of the syntactical differences are also there, which I will tell you when there will be a practical implementations will be there in my future sessions. Now, next point is Node.js is free and open source. When I will install the Node.js, then there you can see it is a free and open source software. Anyone in the world can directly go to Node.js website and can install their software, Node.js software. Last point is Node.js use Chrome's V8 engine to execute code. So inside the Node.js, Rehan Dale is the scientist or the developer that extract out the Chrome V8 engine functionality and implemented that V8 engine functionality inside the Node.js to execute the JavaScript code. So this is what the Node.js is. These are the important points. Now next is why do we use Node.js? So Node.js is mostly used for API. API is application program interface. We will cover the APIs in very much brief in our future sessions. In my future sessions, I will cover this API part in a very brief. In future, I will cover how to make a middlewares using a API, how to use a CRUD operation, how to make a CRUD operations like create, update, delete, and post. These basic stuffs with the help of API. So right now I am leaving this part. What is API is because API I will cover in brief in my future sessions. Next point is so we can create the same database with now I will show you the diagram. Let's say there is a web application and mobile application. These two are the client side part. And these are the databases where the normal data of normal user is stored in database. So to make a proper stability and provide a secure or the security and a proper connection between the clients and the database, there must be something that comes in between, which is a server. So server is a uh, tech jargon that acts as a medium between the clients and the database. And to write a server-side application, we use Node.js. So we are writing the code for the making the server part with the help of platform called Node.js. So Node.js is very much widely used for making the server-side application. So this in this diagram, you can see how the client is can getting its database again getting his database or the trigger or triggering its database with the help of server. Now my last point is sorry, second last point is Node.js is very easy for those who know JS because in Node.js is a platform to running the JavaScript codes. So the guys who knows JS, it is very it is very easy for them to handle and work with Node.js. Last point is Node.js is super fast for APIs. So all the API section I will cover in my future presentation in a very much brief. So now next is history of Node. So these are the points. 6 points. So this I will read. Now I will read my first point. Earlier, JavaScript is the language that was only made to run on those browsers that have JS engine already installed in it to execute JavaScript code. That was, sorry, wait a minute. My voice is audible, Rudraj? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So, history of Node. My first point is earlier JavaScript is the language is the language that was only made to run on those browsers that have engine already installed in it to execute JavaScript code. But now all this have changed. Now with the time, this is changed. This is changed. Now we can also run the JavaScript code outside the browser. So the one who has done this beautiful task to extract out that functionality is Rehan Dehel. Rehan Dehel extract out that JS engine functionality from the Chrome browsers. Here you can see this is the Chrome browser whose JS engine is called V8 engine. This is the Firefox browser whose JS engine is called SpiderMonkey. Here you can see the Safari browser whose JS engine is from Apple. So this is the image where you can see different browsers with their JavaScript engines. So this is the guy Ryan Dehal who has made this platform Node.js where by merging the technology of V8 engine of Chrome and some C++, which is a language which is very close to the machine. So after merging these two technologies, he has created a Node.js for implementing the JavaScript code outside the browsers. So this is now third point is by extracting V8 engine of the Chrome plus some C and C++ language, he developed new platform for backend development called Node.js for making a server-side code in the JavaScript language. So this is the guy. He is the guy. Now fourth point is first release of Node comes on May 27, 2009, and current version which is currently going on is version 20.8.0 of Node.js. This Node.js is written in C, C++, and JavaScript language. So this is the history of Node. Now next is are Node and JavaScript are same. So JavaScript and Node code syntax is same, but there is some differences also that I will cover in my future presentation when I will mostly focusing on the practical implementation. Then I will cover this API section and this syntax part. Next point is if you know JS, you can easily understand Node. This I have covered, but both are not exactly the same. That also. Fourth point is you cannot connect JavaScript to database without the medium of Node. So this is the point which you have to focus. Without the help of wait a minute. Without the help of Node or the server-side language, you cannot directly connect the client with the database. So you must need a server. So for writing that server, we can use the Node. So without the Node, we cannot directly connect the client and with its data with his or her database. So there must be a servers present in between. Now, fifth point is Node.js run on the server side. This I have covered. JS is run on the browser. JS is only used to run on the browser, but Node.js is the platform that can run outside the browsers to run the JavaScript code. Next point, why should you learn Node.js? So, if you are a JavaScript developer, then you can easily learn Node because Node, the syntax part of the Node is 80 to 90% same at JavaScript. So it is easy for the front-end developers who knows JavaScript can easily shift to a backend technology and can use Node.js for making server-side application. Second is you can become a full stack developer because salary is good as compared to the web developer or PHP developer. So this is the reason why you should learn Node.js. Now, next is we will see some practical part of installing Node.js. Now, I will open my Chrome browser, and here, if I will write a Node.js, Node.js, and if I this is the site nodejs.org, and if I will press the first link, Here you can see this is the website of original website of Node.js. Here you can see this is the original website of Node.js. So now if I will go to the download section, here you can see there are different versions are there which you can download for Windows also, Mac also, Linux also. These are the operating system. So here you can easily download this file. And if you will go to directly node, if you will directly go to node, here also you will automatically get a better suggestion automatically for your PC. So now if I will click in this download node.js, and if I will press enter, then it will start downloading this file in my, you can see this is installed in my MSI file, which is installed in my computer, which is installed in my uh, PC. So now if I will move to this file, this node version 20.14.14.0.x64.msi, and if I will run, wait a minute, if I will double click in this file, it will be installed automatically. So because in my personal computer Node.js is already installed, so I will not go further. So this is the basic how you can install the nodes. So to check whether your Node.js is properly installed in your computer or not, you can do like you can press the shortcut key Windows R and then press CMD, and then if you will write node and then dash and then a small v. Here you can see version 20.8.0. So if you will encounter this message after writing this node dash v command in your command terminal, then congratulations, you have successfully installed the Node.js in your personal computer. Now, to see the version, there you can also write the command like node dash dash full form of version. So by this command also you can see the version part. So if I will enter this node dash dash version and then press enter, you can see this is here the version is showing of Node.js. Now with the Node.js there is one other thing which is installed, that is npm. So to see the npm version, npm I will cover in my future presentation. What is npm is, right now your main work is to see whether the npm is properly installed with the Node.js or not. So to see the npm is installed or not, you can write npm dash v and then enter. So here you can see with the Node.js, one other thing is also installed in my system, which is npm. So and the current version of npm is 10.5.0 in my machine. And one other command is also to write to see the version of npm. Wait a minute. npm. Full form of npm is Node Package Manager. I will cover this topic in brief in my future presentation. But right now, your main work is to see whether it is properly installed or not. And now, if I will press enter, it will give us the same thing, 10.5.0. So these four are the commands to see whether your node and npm is properly installed in your system or not. And now I will clear the screen series. So this is the installing part of Node.js. So thank you. This is all that I want to cover today. If anyone is having any doubts, then he or she can ask.
No doubt.